Everyone, I just thought I'd jump on and do a quick market scan, give my thoughts on what's happening over the last week. We have had quite a bit of a push on the Bitcoin price since the start of last week. If we take a look at the daily timeline, ever since we sort of broke this $2,500 level, we've just pushed up pretty quickly right up to 28, which is where we're sitting at right now. If we bring it down to the smaller timeframes, it does look like we're kind of forming this rising wedge right here, which is generally a bearish pattern. And then with these this high point on the RSI and then lower high here, we're kind of getting a bit of a bearish divergence. So depending on what the DXY does, I do expect a bit of a price pullback here, maybe to at least this $2,500 point. Just testing this last area where we have support here. We could always keep coming down, but that's sort of where I'll probably be hedging my bets to see the price go up again. This does actually correlate pretty well with what's happening on the DXY. Take a look at the DXY on the 4 hour, and we're forming this pretty decent looking bull flag here. So bull flags will generally bounce around this range here and then find a level of support or resistance, and then usually break up and then continue to the upside. So depending on what happens here, Bitcoin should do the exact opposite. So right now, I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens here. If we break this trend up the top, I would expect to see maybe a retest up the top and then continuation down to see these lower levels here. I would expect a lot of buyers to be coming into the markets here, so we would probably hold at this point, maybe not all the way back up. This could be just a start of a reversal and then a continuation down. But at the moment, all I'm doing is waiting to see what happens within this range. We could always break the resistance and then head to the upside. If we do that, my next level I'm looking for right up here. So next resistance level is kind of around this 31, 32 area on the daily. So if we do break that 28.5 resistance, I would expect to see a bit of a rally up to this 32 level here. But again, it all depends on what the DXY does, because the DXY does correlate quite closely to what Bitcoin's going to do. And generally, like I said, Bitcoin will do the exact opposite. So keep a close eye on both of these, just see what happens. DXY is looking pretty bearish right now. It has formed a lower high. We are got this bearish engulfing on the daily. So anything could really happen at this stage, but I do see a decent level of support here. And we've got that flag forming on the 4 hours. So see what happens before you make any major decisions. But I would expect, like I said, that price to drop on the DXY, which would correlate perfectly with what we're seeing on the Bitcoin chart at the moment. This ascending wedge, hitting resistance, causing these lower highs on the RSI, which is giving that bearish divergence. So that's kind of what I'm expecting to see, but let's just sit back and see what happens in the markets. Let's take a look at Ethereum now, see what's happening there. Similar to Bitcoin, we kind of reached this point of resistance now, just above $1,800, and we're getting a bit of a sell-off right now. So as you can see, we've formed a bit of a double top here, and now we've broken this small trend that we've had, and now we've retested it and getting a bit of a bearish confirmations coming in as well. Again, on the RSI, got these lower highs forming that bearish divergence. So again, everything for me is kind of looking like we are going to have a bit of a correction. But again, just wait to see what happens, especially with the DXY, because that could be what drives the market today. That's sort of what I'm looking at right now. If you are looking at entering any trades, I would probably say it's a little bit too late at the stage. I would have said it's kind of up here where it retested this trend line. But if you are looking at entering something on Ethereum, potentially maybe have a look at the drop down to the 1 hour, and this would be your next level of support that you'd want to break before you potentially jump in the market to continue downwards. But right now we do have that, so it formed a bit of a double top here. So bam, again, hit that double top, come down, broke the trend line, found support again on this support line, same as here, but now we're forming a lower high, and now we're approaching this support here again. So what I'd probably expect to see here is a bit of a breakthrough here, maybe a bit of a pullback, because we do have that bit of support in here, bit of a pullback, and then wait to see what happens here, and then see if we continue down here. Again, wait for your confirmations. I personally wait to see what happens, whether it's going to be a bearish engulfing at that retest or even a hammer to the downside. And then, yeah, potentially that's the good place to enter there. Usually, like I always say, cover your stop loss above the last high there, just so it gives you the best sort of risk reward ratio. Taking a look at some other coins, everything's doing something pretty similar at the moment. So XRP on the 4 hour, again, similar sort of thing. We've got this double top formation that's happened here with a bit of a retracement. Bit of a bearish divergence here. Usually I would prefer to see the peaks, both peaks above the oversold area. So in a perfect world, this would kind of be up here, and then the next peak would still be up here, but a little bit lower than that. And you would see that ascending there, which kind of gives that rising formation there and that descending formation on the RSI. That's kind of a better looking bearish divergence to me. But again, it does show that there is weaker buyers coming into the market here. And we are just now breaking this trend here. So probably wait to see what happens. Maybe get a bit of a drop here, retest and continuation down. And again, looking to see what happens here and follow that down to the next support zone. Most coins are looking pretty similar at the moment. Aave, again, got a bit of a triple top now, waiting for that break of support here. This would be on the 1 hour. Again, just waiting to see what happens at these levels. That's USDT. Kind of forming a bit of a double top here as well. Reversal. This point here is too far gone at this stage, I would say. So I'd probably look at seeing what happens when it gets down to this new support level. Based on the RSI, everything is looking pretty bearish, but we could just as easily hold up here and keep heading to the upside. But I would just wait to see what happens here, because there's a lot of choppy volume here. I'd probably want to see a retest on this trend before I look at entering the market, not just wait for a break here. So break, make sure the candle closes below support. See if we've got a bit of a pullback, and then see what happens here. That's kind of your decision point, whether you're going to enter the market. Again, you'd want to see it test there, get a bit of a confirmation on a continuation down, whether it be hammers to the downside or bearish engulfing. ETLD, similar sort of thing. We've come up here now, we've just broken this trend, so seeing a bit of a trend reversal happening now. Wait till we get to this support zone here and make a decision then, depending on what happens. But again, seeing what I would expect happening here based on the market conditions at the moment, bit of a bounce and then potentially a continuation down. And I'll go, yeah, most of these charts are looking pretty similar at the moment. So again, broken the trend here on algo, waiting to see what happens here. Got a bit of a bearish engulfing here on the 4 hour at the moment. We have sort of wicked down a little bit here at the moment and a bit of buying pressure coming in. Nothing too crazy on the the volume though, so I probably would expect to see a continuation down. But again, wait to see what happens before you make any decisions. 8. Got a descending triangle here on 8. Next support, I'd say, is probably around there. This is only on the 1 hour. So we've got this descending triangle here, bit of a confirmation here on the RSI, showing lower highs and lower lows. So again, waiting to see what happens here. Probably expect to see a little bit of a bounce here, potentially retest that trend, and then continuation to the downside. So keep a close eye on 8 there. Adam, I've kind of already broken and retested, probably a little bit too late to enter this one. Yeah, so if you're not already in that one, I'd probably leave it for now. AVAX. AVAX, we are in this ascending triangle pattern at the moment. But again, we've got a bit of a double top here, and now we get a bit of a pullback. If we take a look at the RSI on the 4 hour, we've got a pretty good symmetrical triangle forming. But now we've kind of broken that trend now and retest it, and we're looking at reversing. So that's a pretty good bearish indication there. But again, I would wait till we actually break this trend line here before we make any major decisions on what we're going to do. BCH. BCH, we're kind of running into that 61.8 level on the fibs, and we are getting quite a bit of resistance here. So we have this lower high, high low, higher high, lower low. Now we're potentially forming this lower high, running to that 61.8 level here, getting these wicks to the upside. So this is pretty clear indication that buyers aren't willing to push it past this level just yet. And we might see something soon, but again, I would expect a bit of a pullback. So probably line that up with the 61.8 area there. Never a bad idea to drop down to lower timeframes as well, just to see what's going on in the market. But right now, this is the 618 level. Tried to push through it a couple of times, and sellers keep coming in. So at this stage, never hurts to drop down to the small timeframes just to make sure you get those good entry confirmations. So this is what I'll be looking at here. You could look at covering your losses, hedging your bets, and putting your stop loss above this little wick here. Generally, I will keep 2 bodies. If there's only 1 wick in a range here, so we've got a top where the bodies are, a wick that shot up, and then another body here. Generally, I'll put my stop loss just above the bodies, not so much the wick. Yes, it could keep going, but it is what it is. If you hit stop loss, move on and find the next one. But this is sort of what I'll be looking at here. Again, just a small trade for this one, but something worth looking into. BNT. We've got a bit of a bear flag here forming. Bit of a bear flag here forming. Let's drop down to the 1 hour and see what's going on a little bit better. So there's two ways you could play this, depending on what happens in this range. But what you want to do is, I would be waiting for a break of this support here before I consider doing anything. Depending on when it breaks there, you could consider running it down to this support level here. Or we could always get a break to the upside. And the next level of resistance. Remember, always looking left to find your next resistance levels. That's pretty significant for me. So what I'm seeing at the moment, we are in this bit of a bear flag. We're ascending right now to what I would consider a pretty significant level of resistance. So we may just bounce around in this range here for a little bit until we get there. And then I would expect a bit of a pullback there. If we do break here, I would wait just till we break the next low here. So for example, if we were to break here, I'll wait till we actually close below this before I would continue down. But because we're so close to this support line, that would be my entry point there. So this is just an extra confirmation once we break this. And then once we've broken the support level here, that would be my entry point to continue down. Sell low. Looks like we're running into some fib levels now at the moment. So the 32. Yeah, from the high to the low, we're just approaching right now the 32. Got a bit of a bear flag forming as well. So I'd just be watching this trend, see what happens. I wouldn't be doing anything until we at least break this or break the next support, but with the 61.8 just above that, I probably wouldn't touch it until we've at least broken this 76 cents level. But again, because this is a pretty decent resistance zone here, I'd probably expect the price to keep rising up here, hit that. Then from this stage, I'll be waiting to see if we get a lower high on the small time frames and then break this, get a retest, and then continuation down. FX, this guy's been on a pretty decent run for the last little while. I think we did last week. What did we do? So since last Monday, about 300%. Now, it's always healthy for a pullback. You don't want a coin to run forever and ever. That's usually heading into the danger zone if you think it's going to run forever and ever. The fact that we've just bounced here, again, like every other coin at the moment, we're getting these lower highs on the RSI. So we may get one more stab at the resistance here, but I would probably expect to get another rejection, break, and then at least a bit of a pullback, maybe to this next support, 25 cents. So yeah, wait to see what happens here, see if we get a bit of a break. And I wouldn't be doing anything to at least break that support. CXZ. Okay, we do have high, high, low, equal high, potentially a lower high right now. So just wait and see what happens. But we have formed a lower high on the RSI. And another one here. So keep an eye on what's going on here, but it's also a bit of a symmetrical triangle. But again, if we break that trend, pop in your lines there, see what happens. If we break that, that's one confirmation, break this, two confirmations, and then see if we get a retest and then a continuation down. CBC. Okay. As you can see here, we rode up, hit resistance, found support, hit resistance, formed a low low, equal high, lower high, broke, shot quite aggressively, and now we're coming back and we're actually holding above support. So what I'd be doing is keeping an eye on this level here. Could be a potential setup for a long. I wouldn't go too crazy with this, just right to the top of the wick there. On the 1 hour, looks like a bit of a break and retest. So that's why I'd probably wait to see what happens on the 4 hour before I make any decisions, because we could just sit here and then close below here. And then obviously that would be no reason to enter the trade. That invalidates everything. But yeah, keep an eye on that one. It could be a good short trade on along here, just up to the top of the wick. Dots. Okay, so like most other coins, come up here, found the resistance, high, low, high, 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 low, lower high, equal low, potentially lower high now. Wait and see what happens with this trend line. If you break that, we want to break this support as well, and then potentially grab a retest and continuation down. So just keep an eye on this. And see what happens. DYDX. Again, with bearish divergence, like a lot of other coins, so bearish divergence, in my opinion, is a pretty decent confirmation that we are going to see a reversal. It may not happen right away. I've seen lots of cases where you'll see this bearish divergence form. And generally, it only takes two to actually confirm a bearish divergence, but a lot of times you will still see a third touch, which is generally going to drive this up higher as well. So I probably wouldn't be entering anything just yet until we get a little bit more of a decision on what's happening here. At least wait till this 4 hour closes. Lower time frames, you could also consider this a bit of a bull flag as well. Yeah, I personally don't love that though, so probably keep an eye on that. Watch the higher time frames, because you will get more confirmations from what's happening on the higher time frames. But yeah, based on what I'm seeing, bearish divergence starting to break this support now. Bit of a retest. Yes, we are getting a bit of a bullish candle here, but it might be a little bit more of a doji, I would say. EGLD. What do we got here? Okay, decent run up. So we form these high lows. RSI is actually not looking too bad. Most coins go like this. This does have a bit of a divergence there, but now we've kind of retesting this now. So if anything, see if we get a bit of a pullback here, see what happens at this support, and we might either get a bullish engulfing and continuation up, or we break, retest down. But yeah, wait to see what happens. ENG, still trying to break this resistance. Yeah, probably wait to see what happens with this one. ENS. Bit of a descending triangle forming. Bit of buyers coming in at this support level, not a great deal, not enough to push it up. The volume's still quite low. As you can see here, last time we got a pretty decent push, volume was quite high. Whereas right now, it's massively declined since then. So the fact that there's no volume coming in, no buyers coming into the market at this support level is a pretty good signal that buyers are exhausted and just wait to see what happens now. So yeah, I would expect a break of this support, maybe a bit of a retest up to trend and then continuation down. You could also consider this level here a support, but you could also run it down to here. So if you are going to run it down to these lower levels, potentially consider take profit areas around here. Never hurts putting a couple of take profits into your trades as well. As I say, no one ever goes broke by taking profits. Might not be as much as you could potentially earn if it does go all the way, but like I said, it's always better to protect yourself rather than hope and burn yourself in the long run. We'll leave it at that, guys. That's all I've got for the moment. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Remember, this is only for educational purposes. Do your own research, make decisions based on your own analysis. I don't know what's going to happen, neither do you. This is just my thoughts. But yeah, let me know what you think, and try and do these a lot more often. So yeah, I'll see you soon. Cheers, guys.